This is not some abstract concept, nor is it a distant dream reserved for a chosen few. It is the very essence of your being. You see, the world that surrounds you, its events, its circumstances, its people, is not fixed, it appears so, because you have been taught to look outward, to believe that reality is a solid structure independent of your inner life. But let me assure you, it is not. Reality is fluid, it is pliable, and it is entirely shaped by the mind that beholds it. The moment you understand this, a new door opens. It is the door through which you step into a life that has always been waiting for you, but which you could not enter until now. What is this power I speak of? It is the ability to imagine and feel as though your desire has already been fulfilled, not as a distant hope, not as a mere wish or a plan for the future, but as an immediate living experience. When you embody the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you occupy that state fully, entirely, and without reservation, you create a new reality. I am not speaking metaphorically, I am speaking literally. The universe responds to the state you inhabit. Your inner feeling determines the form and circumstance of your outer world. The moment you feel it done, reality begins to adjust, almost imperceptibly at first, but inevitably and surely, to match that inner conviction. Too many people live their lives as though the future is something to wait for, something to negotiate with. They plan, they strive, they endure, believing that events outside themselves dictate what they may or may not have. And yet, time and again, they encounter the same frustrations, the same disappointments. They look at others and wonder why some seem to manifest effortlessly while they struggle endlessly. I tell you this, it is not effort in the outer world that produces results. Effort in the outer world is only a reflection of inner belief. It is feeling, imagination, and assumption that give birth to events. The outer cannot create itself independently. It is always responding to the inner. Consider what it means to feel it done. It means to enter the state of consciousness in which your desire has already been realized. It is not wishing, hoping, or bargaining. It is being. You do not say, I hope this happens, because hope implies the absence of fulfillment. You do not say, I wish this were true, because wishing, like hope, implies lack. Instead, you know it is true. You assume it as an accomplished fact. You act in the inner world as though the thing you desire has already come to pass. You think, speak, and feel from the state of the fulfilled desire, and in this state, a transformation begins. I understand how this can seem impossible at first. After all, if the reality around you seems contrary, if the evidence of the senses tells you otherwise, how can you possibly feel it done? Yet, it is precisely here that the art and power of imagination reveals itself. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the workshop of the soul. Every outward event, every circumstance, every experience you have had was once imagined. If you are living, it is because you have imagined your life into being, consciously or unconsciously. Why should it be any different for the desires you hold now? The only difference lies in awareness. Most people imagine unconsciously, reproducing the patterns of lack, limitation, and defeat that they have absorbed from others. When you imagine consciously, deliberately, and with feeling, you become a conscious creator of reality. Now, listen carefully. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. Thinking is abstract. It does not produce feeling. It is the feeling that matters, the inner conviction that what you desire is already yours. Feel it with every fiber of your being. Live in that state as if no other state exists. When you lie down at night, imagine yourself experiencing it. When you wake, carry the feeling with you into the day. Let it pervade your speech, your posture, your gaze. Let it saturate every action you take, so that you act from the fulfillment of your desire rather than from the emptiness of waiting. This is the moment, the precise moment, when reality begins to conform to your assumption. You may ask, how long must I maintain this feeling? There is no fixed duration. Some desires are fulfilled instantly, some gradually, yet all are certain when the feeling is real and sustained. Doubt is the only enemy, for it is the friction that disrupts the current between inner state and outer manifestation. Doubt is the belief in the evidence of the senses over the certainty of your imagination. But do not fear doubt. Acknowledge it, observe it, and then return persistently and unwaveringly to the feeling that your desire is done. Every return strengthens the inner conviction and hastens the adjustment of outer circumstances. Consider your own life. Recall a time when you felt fully confident, fully certain of a small outcome, and then observed how events seemed to bend in your favor. Perhaps it was a conversation, a meeting, a chance encounter. When you believed it would unfold a certain way, it did. That is no coincidence. That is the law in operation. Now magnify that principle to your grandest desires. The same principle applies. The moment you truly feel the wish fulfilled, the universe, which is nothing more than the mirror of your inner state, begins to rearrange itself to make the invisible visible. Do not be concerned with the how. The mind of man is always tempted to fixate on the mechanics, on the steps, on the time and place of fulfillment. But here is the truth. The how is irrelevant. Your responsibility is to assume the state of the fulfilled desire and live within it. The universe will orchestrate the how according to your inner assumption. It is a mistake to think you must control the events, for the moment you do, you are placing your desire in the realm of the outer, and the outer cannot create itself. Creation is always from the inside out, never the reverse. The outer is simply a reflection, a mirror of what is happening in the inner world. You may wonder, what if the world resists my assumption? What if circumstances seem immovable? Let me remind you, the world has never resisted anything except your own disbelief. Circumstances do not oppose, they reflect. They show you with ruthless clarity the state you are inhabiting. If doubt, fear, or impatience arises, it is only a signal that your inner state has shifted, even slightly. The remedy is simple. Return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, repeat the inner scene, reassert the state of completion. Live as though there is no question about it. With persistence, with unwavering assumption, outer reality must eventually, inevitably yield to the inner certainty. You may be tempted to rely on reasoning, logic, or planning. These are tools of the mind, and the mind serves a purpose, but it is not the source of creation. Reasoning looks at the world and draws conclusions from the evidence presented by the senses. This is precisely why reasoning alone cannot bring fulfillment. The senses show only the current state, not what is possible. Imagination, on the other hand, reaches beyond the present, beyond limitations, beyond appearances. It is through imagination that you access the state of your fulfilled desire. Reason serves as a tool to maintain coherence, to make decisions within the world. But creation itself springs from feeling, from assumption, from living as if the end has already been realized. Consider this. You are not a passive observer of life. You are an active creator. Everything that exists was once imagined. Every building, every invention, every work of art, every relationship, every advancement in human achievement, all of it began as a thought, a feeling, a conviction that it could be. And you are no less capable. To think otherwise is to underestimate the power that has always been within you. Do not measure your potential by the circumstances of the moment. Measure it by the depth of your feeling, the vividness of your assumption, the certainty with which you occupy the state of fulfillment. Let us explore what it means to embody the state of the fulfilled desire. It is more than visualization. It is the living of a new reality within your consciousness. It is feeling the relief, the joy, the satisfaction of having what you desire. Imagine yourself walking through life already in possession of your wish. Hear the sounds, see the colors, smell the scents, feel the texture, taste the satisfaction. Do not wait for it to arrive. Step into it now. Make it real in the imagination, and the universe will make it real in experience. The moment you feel it done, your consciousness has shifted, and the outer world must follow. You may ask, can all desires be fulfilled in this way? Yes, because desire is not separate from reality. The universe is not a place of scarcity, it is a place of infinite possibility. Every desire, if assumed to be fulfilled with feeling, becomes inevitable. There are no limits in the imagination, there are only limits imposed by belief. Remove the limitation, and the desire becomes your experience. Remove the doubt, and the universe rearranges itself. Live in that state, and you will witness the extraordinary transformation of your circumstances. I know that it can be difficult to maintain the state when external conditions appear contrary, but remember, external conditions are not the determinant, they are the reflection. When you feel a lack, you will see lack. When you feel abundance, you will see abundance. The outer world cannot dictate your inner state unless you allow it to. It is not what happens to you that matters, it is what you assume. Everything depends on the assumption, on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is why, when the feeling is genuine, events begin to shift subtly at first. A conversation that opens a door, a meeting that aligns perfectly, an idea that arrives unexpectedly. The universe responds with perfect intelligence to the state you inhabit. Persistence is key. The momentary glimpse of fulfillment is not enough. You must dwell in the feeling until it becomes your habitual state. The mind may resist, the world may seem to contradict, but the inner state, once fixed, is invincible. It cannot be destroyed by appearances. Every time you return to the state of fulfillment, every time you reinforce the assumption with feeling, the outer world comes closer to reflecting it. This is not magic, it is law. It is as certain as the sunrise. The moment you feel it done, reality begins to conform. Notice, too, that the act of assuming the fulfilled state transforms you. It changes your consciousness, your behavior, your aura. You become someone who has already received, someone who has already triumphed. Your speech, your actions, your demeanor, all align with the state you inhabit. This alignment is critical, for the outer world responds to the inner reality. When you carry yourself as the fulfilled person, others respond accordingly. Opportunities present themselves, doors open, coincidences occur. All of this stems from the inner assumption, the feeling of accomplishment, the certainty of reality shifted by consciousness. You may wonder about the speed of manifestation. Some desires appear almost immediately, some take time. Yet there is no failure. Time is a construct of the outer world. It is not a barrier in the inner realm. The fulfillment of desire is not measured by clocks or calendars, but by the immutability of the inner state. The instant you feel it done, the seed is planted, and the universe begins its work. Sometimes events unfold quickly, sometimes gradually, but always inevitably. Your role is to maintain the inner reality, to sustain the feeling, to refuse to let outer appearances dictate your state. Let me emphasize, this is not daydreaming. It is disciplined imagining. It is deliberate and purposeful. It is not an escape from reality. It is a creation of new reality. It is the recognition that your inner life is sovereign, that your consciousness shapes the form of your world. The moment you feel it done, you take ownership of your life in a way that transcends circumstance. You are no longer at the mercy of chance, opinion, or external conditions. You are the conscious creator, the living embodiment of your desire. Think about it. Every great achievement in history began with a person assuming a state of fulfillment before evidence existed. Every innovation, every work of art, every discovery was first experienced inwardly, fully, as thou. Already realized, the outer world then caught up to the inner certainty. You are capable of the same. There is no limit to what you can assume, what you can feel, what you can realize. The only limitation is your willingness to inhabit the state of the fulfilled desire with unwavering conviction. The moment you do, reality has no choice but to bend in accordance with your assumption. Do not be discouraged by appearances. They are never the measure of truth. They are merely the reflection of the current state of consciousness. Change the inner state, and the outer world follows. This is the secret. It is not the outer that changes the inner, but the inner that changes the outer. Your task is simple, yet profound. Assume the wish fulfilled, feel it, live it, persist in it. The universe will respond with intelligence and precision. The moment you feel it done, reality shifts. Every obstacle, every challenge, every seeming limitation dissolves before the certainty of the inner state. And now, let me leave you with this thought. Life is not about waiting, striving, or enduring. It is about feeling, imagining, and assuming. It is about stepping fully into the reality of your fulfilled desire and allowing the outer world to reflect what is already true within. The moment you feel it done, reality begins to change. There is no delay, no exception, no error. Your inner state is the pivot upon which all events turn. Occupy that state, treasure it, guard it, live in it as though there is no other, and you will witness miracles not in theory, not in hope, but in living, tangible experience. So take this knowledge, embrace it, and act from it. Do not settle for the limitations of the present. Rise above them in your consciousness. Feel it done, know it is done, live it as though it is done, and watch with patient certainty as the world rearranges itself to match your inner reality. This is the power of consciousness, the law of imagination, the principle that governs all creation. The moment you feel it done, reality changes. There is no other law, no other path, no other secret. Step into this truth, inhabit it fully, and let the miracles unfold. Now imagine for a moment the extraordinary freedom that comes with this understanding. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, no longer bound by the seeming randomness of events. Every situation you encounter, every person you meet, every challenge you face becomes an opportunity to reaffirm the state of your fulfilled desire. The outer world cannot impose upon you unless you allow it to. Once you realize that your inner state is sovereign, the power you have always sought is finally in your hands. You can navigate life with a sense of certainty, with an unshakable assurance that your imagination is not a fantasy but the blueprint of reality itself. Consider the feeling of certainty for a moment. How does it feel to know, without question, that your desire has been fulfilled? There is a peace, a joy, a deep inner satisfaction that cannot be disturbed by appearances. It is a living proof within you, a vibration that resonates throughout your entire being. When you occupy this state, you no longer need to argue with the world. You no longer need to explain, negotiate, or convince. The reality you inhabit has shifted. The external world will eventually reflect it, and all seeming obstacles become irrelevant. This is not speculation, it is the very nature of consciousness in action. It is important to understand the subtlety of this process. The change begins in the inner world, often quietly, almost imperceptibly. You may notice small shifts at first, a change in mood, a synchronistic event, a new idea or insight that seems to arrive without cause. These are the whispers of reality, adjusting itself to your inner state. They are signs that your assumption is taking root, that the feeling of fulfillment is reshaping the world. Pay attention to them. Celebrate them. They are proof that the inner state is working, even when the outer evidence has not yet fully manifested. Persistence is essential. You will encounter moments of doubt, moments when the old patterns of thinking and perceiving attempt to reclaim your attention. This is natural. The mind is accustomed to the familiar, even if the familiar is lack or limitation. But do not surrender to these intrusions. Recognize them, and then gently but firmly return to the state of the fulfilled desire. Each return strengthens the assumption, fortifies your inner reality, and accelerates the manifestation in the outer world. The moment you feel it done, it becomes increasingly difficult for the world to contradict that reality, because the inner state grows more dominant, more undeniable, more real than the appearances around you. Let us explore the practical ways to maintain this feeling. Begin by creating a vivid mental scene in which your desire is already realized. Include sensory details. See it, hear it, touch it, feel it. Make it as real as any memory you hold. Then, enter this scene repeatedly, especially in moments of quiet reflection, before sleep, upon waking, or during times when your attention is naturally inward. Live in it fully, without reservation, without concern for timing or logistics. The more real and intense the feeling, the stronger the signal sent to your consciousness and therefore to the outer world. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. The mind and consciousness respond to consistent, sustained feeling. Even a few moments each day, if genuine and concentrated, can have an extraordinary effect. You are training your inner world to embody the reality you desire, and the outer world is compelled to follow. It is not a matter of forcing events. It is a matter of aligning your consciousness with the truth you wish to see. When alignment is complete, the manifestation is inevitable. There is another element that must not be ignored: faith. Faith, in this context, is not passive belief. It is the active assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. It is a living trust in the intelligence of consciousness, in the certainty that your inner state is the creator of all outer circumstances. When you combine feeling with faith, you create an unstoppable momentum. The moment you feel it done, faith assures you that there is no failure, no exception, no delay beyond what is necessary for the outer world to adjust. Doubt may visit, but it cannot stay in the presence of unwavering assumption. Notice too the transformative effect of living from the end. As you assume the state of fulfillment, you begin to behave differently, speak differently, and think differently. Your actions become guided by the inner reality rather than by the old habits of limitation. You find that opportunities that once seemed hidden are now visible. Resources that once seemed scarce are now available. The world begins to cooperate because you are no longer operating from lack or fear, but from certainty and completion. The moment you feel it done, the outer world aligns itself with the inner, and there is a profound joy in this process. Not the fleeting joy that depends on circumstances, but a deep abiding joy that comes from knowing you are in harmony with the creative law of life. You are not waiting for the world to grant you permission. You are living as the creator, as the one who commands reality through inner conviction. There is freedom, there is peace, there is empowerment, and there is fulfillment in this knowledge. Each day spent in the state of your fulfilled desire strengthens your consciousness, and the world must inevitably follow suit. You might wonder, can this process be applied to every area of life? The answer is unequivocally yes. Relationships, health, abundance, personal growth, success, all are shaped by the assumption you hold. When you feel it done, the universe responds. It does not matter how impossible it seems, how contradictory appearances are, or how distant the outcome may feel. The outer world is always a mirror of the inner, and the inner knows no limitations. When you occupy the state of fulfillment, you have entered a realm where impossibility is irrelevant and only the truth of your feeling matters. It is essential to remember that timing is the least of your concern. The mind will always want to schedule, plan, and calculate, but the law of consciousness does not operate according to human timetables. It operates according to inner reality. The moment you feel it done, the seed of manifestation is planted. The outer world will conform in its own perfect way, at its own perfect pace, guided by intelligence beyond human understanding. Your task is only to remain faithful to the inner state, to dwell in the feeling of fulfillment, and to persist until the outer world reflects it unmistakably. This is the secret that those who succeed effortlessly understand. They are not extraordinary because of luck or talent. They are extraordinary because they have mastered the art of living from the end. They inhabit the state of the fulfilled desire with unwavering conviction, and the world must obey the inner reality they have assumed. This mastery is available to anyone at any time because it requires nothing external. It requires only the disciplined use of imagination and feeling, and the courage to assume a reality that has not yet appeared in the senses. I urge you to reflect on the difference between wishing and assuming, between hoping and feeling, between waiting and living from the end. Wishing implies absence, hoping implies uncertainty, waiting implies delay, assuming, feeling, living from the end implies completion. When you operate from this state, the universe becomes your mirror, and all circumstances adjust to reflect the inner truth. The moment you feel it done, reality changes. Even in moments of apparent contradiction, hold fast. When doubt creeps in, do not argue with it. Simply return to the state of your fulfilled desire. Do this consistently, patiently, and with unwavering faith, and the outer world will inevitably yield. The law is precise, impartial, and unerring. Nothing can prevent manifestation except your own failure to maintain the inner state. All obstacles, all contradictions, all seeming impossibilities vanish in the presence of genuine, sustained assumption. You may ask how to know if your feeling is genuine. Observe the inner sensation. Is there certainty, peace, and joy? Does it feel complete, whole, and accomplished without reservation? If so, you have entered the state of fulfillment. If not, return, refine, and strengthen the feeling until it is unmistakable. This is the practice, the discipline, the art of conscious creation. The outer world responds with perfect intelligence, orchestrating circumstances, events, and people to bring the inner state into tangible experience. Do not underestimate the subtlety of this process. Manifestation often begins quietly, with small, imperceptible adjustments. A conversation may shift, an opportunity may appear, a thought may arise that opens a new pathway. These are the signs that reality is responding to your inner state. Recognize them, cherish them, and let them encourage you to persist. The moment you feel it done, these subtle beginnings will eventually accumulate NTU unmistakable evidence until the outer world fully reflects your inner reality. There is a certain elegance in this law. It does not require struggle, force, or manipulation. It does not require striving or anxiety. It requires only the disciplined use of imagination and feeling, the unwavering assumption of fulfillment, and the patient observation of reality as it conforms. Life becomes not a battle but a dance in which the inner state leads and the outer world gracefully follows. The moment you feel it done, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances, you are at the helm of creation itself. Now let us explore the transformative power of assuming the feeling of fulfillment in your daily life. Every encounter, every situation, every task becomes a stage upon which your inner reality can be expressed. When you carry the state of the fulfilled desire into your daily activities, you begin to see ordinary events through extraordinary eyes. The mundane becomes significant because it is now touched by the certainty of what has already been accomplished. You notice opportunities that were once invisible. You sense the subtle guidance of circumstances aligning with your inner assumption. Every moment becomes a chance to deepen the feeling of completion, to reinforce the state of being that shapes reality itself. Consider the role of imagination in this process. Imagination is the creative force, the laboratory of the soul where all possibilities exist. It is not idle daydreaming, but active, conscious creation. Through imagination, you enter the state of the fulfilled desire as though it has already been realized. You experience it fully. Sight, sound, touch, taste, and emotion are all engaged. The intensity of the feeling is what matters. It is not the duration or the complexity of the visualization, but the genuine embodiment of the experience that communicates to your consciousness that the desire is done. When this occurs, the outer world cannot remain unchanged. It must adjust to the new inner reality. Do not be discouraged if the outer world appears contrary at first. Often the manifestation begins in ways that are subtle, almost imperceptible. Perhaps a conversation shifts, an idea arises, a chance meeting occurs, or circumstances begin to bend in unexpected ways. These are not coincidences. They are the signs that your inner assumption is taking hold, that your consciousness is reshaping reality. Every small shift is proof of the law at work, and each reinforces the inner certainty that the desire is accomplished. Notice them, cherish them, and allow them to strengthen your faith. Persistence is critical. The mind, conditioned by years of external observation, may resist or question. Doubt may arise. Appearances may seem to contradict your inner reality. Yet the secret is simple. Return patiently and persistently to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let nothing shake your inner conviction. Each time you return to the state of fulfillment, the inner reality grows stronger, more dominant, and more irresistible to the outer world. In this way, reality conforms not instantly but inevitably. The moment you feel it done, you have planted a seed that cannot fail. Notice the profound effect of this process on your being. Living from the end transforms your consciousness, your behavior, your speech, your demeanor. You move, act, and respond from a state of accomplishment. This alignment creates a resonance that others respond to naturally. Opportunities, resources, and ideas present themselves in ways that previously seemed impossible. This is not luck or chance. It is the result of living in the inner reality of fulfillment. Your outer world becomes a reflection of the inner, and you begin to experience life in a new, extraordinary way. There is also a profound joy in this practice, not a fleeting joy dependent on circumstances, but an enduring, deep joy that comes from knowing you are in harmony with the creative principle of the universe. You are no longer waiting for life to happen. You are creating life moment by moment through conscious assumption. Each day spent in the feeling of fulfillment strengthens your consciousness, deepens your inner certainty, and accelerates the manifestation of the outer world. Joy becomes the natural byproduct of living from the end, a sign that your consciousness is aligned with the reality you have chosen. And consider the universality of this principle. It applies to every area of life: relationships, health, abundance, personal growth, career, and spiritual expansion. There is no desire too small or too grand. When you feel it done, the universe responds. The outer world cannot resist the inner state. It mirrors your consciousness with perfect precision. What appears impossible, improbable, or delayed is simply the reflection of incomplete inner assumption. Strengthen the inner feeling, refine the assumption, and the outer will inevitably follow. Timing, though often a concern of the mind, is irrelevant to the law. The law of consciousness operates independently of clocks and schedules. It is the inner state, the persistent feeling of fulfillment, that triggers manifestation. The moment you feel it done, the process begins, whether the world is ready to recognize it or not. The universe moves in perfect intelligence to bring forth the conditions necessary for your assumption to be realized. Your role is to maintain the inner reality, to dwell in the feeling, and to refuse to be swayed by appearances. This practice is not abstract, it is practical. It is the method by which every dream can be realized. Start each day by entering the I, near state of fulfillment. Before sleep, return to the feeling, letting it saturate your consciousness. Throughout the day, act from the inner state, allowing it to guide your interactions, decisions, and perceptions. Every step becomes an expression of the reality you have assumed. Even the smallest moments carry the power to reinforce your inner state and accelerate the manifestation of your desire. Consider also the effect on your relationships. When you assume the state of fulfilled desire in your interactions, you project a sense of completeness, confidence, and satisfaction that others naturally respond to. Relationships transform. Because you are no longer seeking validation or fulfillment from others, you already possess it within. This inner wholeness creates harmony, understanding, and cooperation. It does not manipulate or coerce, it simply emanates a state of being that attracts corresponding circumstances and people. The moment you feel it done, your environment adjusts to reflect your inner reality. You may ask how to overcome resistance, whether from within or without. Resistance is natural. It is the inertia of old beliefs, habits, and conditioned thinking. The solution is simple but requires discipline. Persist in the assumption, immerse yourself in the feeling, and return repeatedly to the state of fulfillment. Each return weakens resistance, dissolves doubt, and reinforces the inner reality. The outer world cannot resist indefinitely when the inner state is unwavering. It bends, shifts, and ultimately aligns with the consciousness that holds firm. Notice too the subtlety of the law at work. Manifestation often begins with imperceptible signs, a shift in mood, an idea, an intuition, a minor coincidence. These are the first indicators that the inner assumption is reshaping outer circumstances. Do not dismiss them. They are proof that the process is unfolding. Acknowledge them, let them inspire confidence, and continue to live fully in the feeling of fulfillment. Over time, these subtle signs accumulate into undeniable evidence until the outer world fully mirrors your inner state. In practicing this, be aware that the outer world is never the measure of truth. Appearances are fleeting and unreliable. They reflect the current state of consciousness, not the potential of what can be realized. Your responsibility is to inhabit the inner reality, to feel the desire fulfilled, to assume the state of completion. When this is done, the outer world is compelled, with perfect intelligence, to follow. The moment you feel it done, reality begins to shift, first subtly, then unmistakably, until every circumstance aligns with the state you have assumed. There is a beauty in the simplicity of this principle. It does not require struggle, effort, or coercion. It does not require manipulation, scheming, or force. It requires only the deliberate use of imagination, the sustained feeling of fulfillment, and the unwavering assumption of your desired reality. Life becomes a dance, a harmonious interplay between inner state and outer expression. You lead with consciousness, and the world responds naturally. The moment you feel it done, you step into the role of the conscious creator, guiding the unfolding of events through your inner certainty. Let us now turn to the subtle yet profound influence of belief in this process. Belief is not a casual thought or a fleeting hope. It is a living conviction that colors every perception, every action, and every moment of awareness. When you combine belief with feeling, you create a magnetic current that draws circumstances into alignment with your inner reality. It is not the circumstances that produce belief, it is belief that produces circumstances. The moment you feel it done, belief solidifies into experience, and the outer world must respond. This is why maintaining unwavering belief is critical, for it is the invisible architect of all that manifests. Consider also the transformative power of persistence. Many falter not because they fail to imagine or to feel, but because they allow temporary contradictions to sway their attention. They see evidence that seems contrary and abandon the state of fulfillment too soon. But the law is impartial, and its effect is cumulative. Every time you return to the inner state of the fulfilled desire, the force grows stronger, the signal more potent, the alignment more inevitable. It is in this repetition, in this steadfast return to the feeling, that reality begins to bend unmistakably toward the inner assumption. The moment you feel it done, your persistence ensures that outer evidence cannot long contradict it. Notice how this inner work affects your perception of time. Time as you know it is a construct of the outer world. In the inner realm where the feeling of fulfillment exists, there is no past, no future, only the eternal now. When you dwell in the state of completion, you are outside the limitations of chronological time. The outer world may appear to move slowly, events may seem delayed, but the inner reality is already accomplished. The moment you feel it done, you are inhabiting the completed state eternally, and the outer world must eventually catch up. It is also essential to observe the profound effect of inner discipline. To maintain the feeling of fulfillment requires attentiveness, mindfulness, and conscious choice. The mind is prone to wander, the senses are trained to observe limitations, and the world is full of distractions. Yet through disciplined focus, through repeated assumption of the completed state, you fortify your consciousness against these intrusions. Each act of return to the inner state strengthens your creative power, reinforcing the law that the outer world cannot resist the dominant feeling you hold within. Reflect for a moment on the subtle shifts that occur as a result of this practice. Perhaps a colleague unexpectedly agrees with your proposal. Perhaps a financial opportunity arises that seems perfectly timed. Perhaps a relationship that once felt stagnant begins to flourish. These are not mere coincidences. They are the evidence of alignment between inner state and outer reality. When you feel it done, the universe orchestrates events, people, and circumstances to reflect the inner reality you have assumed. Small shifts accumulate, becoming larger changes, until the manifestation of your desire is complete and unmistakable. Imagine now the freedom that comes from this understanding. You are no longer at the mercy of chance, circumstance, or the opinions of others. You are free to act from a state of completeness, to engage with life from the perspective of one who already possesses what they seek. This is liberation. It is not external freedom alone, but the profound inner freedom of consciousness aligned with the truth of fulfillment. Every thought, every action, every word emanates from this inner certainty, and the world responds accordingly. The moment you feel it done, you claim this freedom and exercise it fully. Consider the effect on creativity and innovation. When you live from the fulfilled state, your imagination operates without limitation. Ideas flow effortlessly, solutions emerge naturally, and intuition guides with precision. You are not struggling to create, you are allowing creation to emerge from a state of completion. The inner certainty energizes the mind and the senses, enabling insight and invention that previously seemed unattainable. The moment you feel it done, creativity is no longer dependent on effort. It becomes a natural expression of your assumed state. It is equally important to recognize that this process applies to every area of life. Health, relationships, abundance, personal growth, spiritual advancement, all are governed by the same principle. When you feel it done, the universe adjusts. The apparent obstacles, the seeming impossibilities, the delays and contradictions, all of these dissolve before the unwavering certainty of the inner state. There is no limitation, no exception, no failure outside of what you permit through doubt or neglect of the inner assumption. The moment you feel it done, the scope of possibility expands infinitely. Reflect on the inner transformation that occurs as you inhabit the state of fulfillment. Your thoughts become aligned, your emotions balanced, and your actions harmonized with the reality you have assumed. You begin to attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with your inner state. Life no longer appears as a series of random events, but as a coherent unfolding of your chosen reality. The moment you feel it done, you are transformed into a person whose being alone carries the blueprint of the desired outcome. Notice too how patience integrates with this process. The outer world may not immediately reflect your inner reality, and yet the delay is not failure. It is the unfolding of intelligence beyond human comprehension, orchestrating events with perfect timing to match the inner state. Patience is the acceptance of this intelligence, the calm endurance that allows the inner reality to assert itself fully. The moment you feel it done, patience is not passive waiting but active faith, sustained by unwavering assumption and persistent feeling. There is a subtle joy in observing the gradual alignment of inner state and outer reality. Each sign, each coincidence, each confirmation becomes a reinforcement of the truth you already know, that your consciousness shapes reality. These small confirmations build confidence, deepen faith, and accelerate the process of manifestation. The moment you feel it done, you begin to witness the world rearranging itself in perfect accordance with the inner assumption. And with each step, the outer world becomes increasingly harmonious with your inner vision. The practice also cultivates a profound sense of empowerment. You realize that you are the creator of your life, not a passive participant. The circumstances of the past no longer define you. The opinions and judgments of others no longer limit you. Your inner state governs the unfolding of events, and your conscious assumption becomes the lever through which you shape reality. The moment you feel it done, you claim this power fully, and your life becomes a direct expression of your inner certainty. Even in moments of apparent contradiction, the inner state remains unshaken. You may encounter doubt, opposition, or delay, but these are merely reflections of old patterns or temporary appearances. They are not reality itself. Reality is determined by consciousness, not by appearances. Each return to the inner state of fulfillment strengthens the assumption and accelerates the alignment of outer events. The moment you feel it done, no external circumstance can undo what has already been established within your consciousness. Now, let us consider the role of inner expectation in this process. Expectation is not mere anticipation, it is the confident knowing that what you desire is already in existence. When expectation is combined with feeling, it becomes an irresistible force that compels circumstances to conform to the inner state. Expectation aligns every thought, emotion, and action with the reality you have assumed, and the outer world, responding with perfect precision, begins to reflect this alignment. The moment you feel it done, expectation reinforces the certainty, ensuring that manifestation unfolds naturally and inevitably. Think about how the imagination interacts with your daily life. Every moment is an opportunity to rehearse the reality you desire. As you move through your day, engage with your surroundings, and interact with others, bring the feeling of fulfillment into every encounter. Speak, act, and perceive from the perspective of someone whose desire is already realized. Allow the inner state to guide your decisions, your responses, and even your expressions. The outer world cannot resist the dominant state within. Each moment spent in this practice strengthens the inner assumption and accelerates its manifestation. Notice how this practice transforms your perception of obstacles. What once seemed impossible now appears as a temporary condition, a challenge that exists only because of the mind's focus on limitation. When you return to the feeling of fulfillment, these obstacles dissolve. They no longer dictate your state, they merely serve as reminders to reaffirm your inner reality. The moment you feel it done, resistance loses its power, and every apparent barrier becomes an opportunity to deepen the certainty of your assumed state. Reflect on the harmony that emerges when inner assumption governs outer action. Actions taken from a state of fulfillment are aligned, effortless, and effective. There is no tension, no struggle, no sense of striving. Every choice, every interaction, every step flows naturally from the inner reality you've embraced. This alignment is visible in the results that appear in the outer world. Circumstances bend, people respond, opportunities present themselves, all in accordance with the certainty of your inner state. The moment you feel it done, life itself becomes an expression. Your consciousness. Consider the importance of attention in this process. Attention is the force that sustains feeling and assumption. Where attention is directed, consciousness flows, and where consciousness flows, reality responds. Do not allow attention to be scattered by doubt, fear, or external appearances. Instead, focus it consistently on the inner state of fulfillment. Repeated attention to the assumed reality strengthens the inner conviction, creates momentum, and compels the outer world to conform. The moment you feel it done, sustained attention ensures that manifestation is not delayed, obstructed, or diminished. Notice the subtle shifts in energy that occur as you maintain the inner state. There is a lightness, a confidence, and a quiet joy that permeates every thought, every action, every interaction. This energy resonates outward, attracting circumstances and people that match its frequency. The world mirrors your inner state with perfect fidelity. The moment you feel it done, the energy you radiate becomes the medium through which manifestation occurs, and the outer world bends effortlessly to the inner reality. Consider the interplay of imagination, feeling, and assumption in creating lasting change. Imagination forms the blueprint, feeling energizes it, and assumption fixes it as a living reality. This triad is the engine of creation, the method by which every desired outcome can be brought into experience. The outer world is merely a reflection, responding in perfect order to the inner state. The moment you feel it done, this triad operates seamlessly, ensuring that your consciousness and the world it perceives are fully aligned. Reflect on the role of inner joy in sustaining the assumption. Joy is not dependent on external conditions. It is a natural byproduct of living from the end. The more fully you inhabit the feeling of fulfillment, the more joy arises, reinforcing the inner state and deepening the certainty of your assumption. This joy radiates outward, influencing circumstances and drawing experiences into alignment with the reality you have chosen. The moment you feel it done, joy becomes both the signal and the sustenance of creation, ensuring that manifestation continues with effortless grace. Consider the subtle ways in which reality adjusts to a dominant inner state. Often, the first signs are small: an unexpected confirmation, a timely suggestion, a new insight. These are the initial shifts, the gentle nudges that indicate the inner state is reshaping circumstances. Recognize them, appreciate them, and allow them to strengthen your conviction. Each small alignment builds upon the previous, until the outer world fully reflects the inner reality. The moment you feel it done, these subtle beginnings accelerate, creating a cascade of events that confirms the certainty of your assumption. Notice also the empowerment that comes from living in the fulfilled state. You are no longer subject to uncertainty, limitation, or external judgment. You are free to act with confidence, to make decisions from a position of inner authority, and to engage with the world from a place of completeness. This empowerment is not superficial, it is deeply transformative, influencing every aspect of your life. The moment you feel it done, you step fully into your role as the conscious creator of your experience, and the outer world aligns accordingly. Reflect on the deep inner peace that accompanies this practice. When you dwell in the state of fulfillment, there is no need for struggle, no need for worry, no need for seeking. The mind and heart are at rest, knowing that what you desire is already accomplished. This peace strengthens the inner state, reinforces the assumption, and ensures that the outer world responds with perfect accuracy. The moment you feel it done, peace becomes the anchor of your consciousness, guiding every thought, action, and perception toward the reality you assumed. The interplay of imagination, feeling, expectation, joy, and inner peace creates a dynamic field of consciousness that the outer world cannot resist. When you occupy this field, circumstances, people, and events begin to converge toward the inner reality you have chosen. The moment you feel it done, the alignment of consciousness and manifestation becomes inevitable. Every step, every encounter, every unfolding moment serves to confirm the power of your inner state and the responsiveness of the universe to your assumption. So now, let us reflect on the truth you have been shown. The power to shape reality does not lie in the circumstances around you, nor in the opinions, actions, or judgments of others. It lies within your consciousness, in the state of being you choose to inhabit. Every desire, every dream, every vision you hold can be made real, not someday, not in some distant future, but the moment you feel it done. This is the law. The inner state precedes the outer manifestation, and nothing can prevent what has already been assumed in the mind with conviction and feeling. Carry this knowledge with you, not merely as an idea, but as a living reality. Let it guide your imagination, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Persist in the assumption of fulfillment. Nurture the feeling of completion, and dwell in the state of your desires as though they are already accomplished. Trust in the intelligence of your own consciousness, for it is infinitely creative, precise, and faithful to the reality you maintain within. And remember this, life will always mirror the state you occupy. When you assume the fulfilled state, when you feel it done, reality must yield. Doubt, fear, delay, and contradiction cannot endure in the presence of unwavering inner certainty. The moment you feel it done, you step into a new reality, a reality in which your desires, your dreams, and your aspirations take form as naturally as sunlight breaking over the horizon. Go forward with confidence, with joy, with faith, and with the